All right. Well, I've been praying, and by praying I mean doing what the Holy Spirit tells me to. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But I wanted to make this informative and somewhat romantic for my wife. So, for the world, it's that time again. Um, a lot of the unpleasantness from Isaiah for the world. And then for us, search from the book of the Lord and read, not one of these shall fail. Not one shall lack her mate. For my mouth has commanded it, and his spirit has gathered them. So that's my focus is 100% on my personal marriage right now. And since you are all in me, that's going to be expansive, and everyone should be rooting for me. I was going to get the world involved in this, and I still am. So after careful deliberation, if you take YouTube seriously, it has the potential to destroy you. I have read some of the subtitles for life advice givers, and I see a lot of confused people labeling and classifying people, and I'm sure that that's going to cause a lot of division. What I generally do is I never thought of this as arrogant or anything like this, but I was in Sodom and Gomorrah, so I've already seen this before, and this time I tried living there with my wife, so that probably was not something I'll try again, but the woman's worth it. What can I tell you? If you want to be a narcissist, and I think that it's well, the spirit. Well, earlier today I sat down with one of the sons of God, and he told me, I don't know if I believe angels ever taken human form. And we were already talking about Sodom and Gomorrah and how they were found and then attacked, and then God had had enough. So I've already been there. And he said, I'm not sure the difference between an angel and a demon. I said, loyalty. He said, yeah. And then I listened to something that my wife's been praying about. And he said, yeah, now I know the importance of keeping your vows. So I had told my wife, look, it seems like we're in the fireproof movie. Like we're gonna be Christians, like I promised. Now's the time to do that. And then I heard my wife, like I always do, like a lot of I'm sorry. And what I learned in this season, I'll of course be sharing. It's been a hard season. A lot of faith. It's one thing to be given confirmation every step. It's another thing to walk and wait for the confirmation, and then the confirmation is not as big as. So a lot of people have so much distrust now, especially walking in my baby's shoes. It gives me a bigger picture of who she is, how she got the ideas that she got. So one thing that's really helped me we had to make sure the Holy Spirit knew some things that we did not know. And then each one of us got closer to the Holy Spirit of me. So it's Adam and Eve, that part in Revelation is really unpleasant. So that's why we are coming out of the world and going back up in the air. And a lot of the sons of God have had their awakening that I always wanted them to have. So I've been welcoming them with open arms. And they're still very much loved and interesting to me. I'm supposed to pause. I'm supposed to tell this story to one of my angels that showed up with a drink for me, cup of salvation. When I was going through the whole, it was a crucible of was I supposed to marry this woman or not? Now, one pastor, because they had two pastors at the church, one gave a word, and it was basically, choose anyone but this one. Then the senior pastor saw both of us at church and said, when I walked past you, my eyes watered. So when you're getting conflicting answers, that can make it really, really confusing. And I went through that. So what I'm doing for you guys, I'm going to speak to you through the word. And then I'll lead you to YouTube videos and things like that. But if it's not a preacher that's talking about the Holy Spirit as a person, then politely I will call it a remedial teaching. I have a lot of people that I'm raising up right now that are very excited and feeling things out. But if you're relying on the world's wisdom, that's not going to help you. The amazing thing in this season, I could always detect darkness, but I've been through it, so my spirit remembers it. A lot of people's it doesn't. So many, a good way to tell, if you speak to the person and you feel drained afterwards, and I remember teaching this 3 years ago, and I just saw a video where someone, and many people are accepting it as truth now. So what I'm teaching now will be accepted within 3 years. So if you found this channel, consider yourself a little ahead of the curve. If you understand it, even more so. And if you speak to the person and you had energy as far as the desire to do something, and you had hope, and you were in a good mood, and you speak to somebody and you're no longer in that mood and you feel drained, that person just has a lot of darkness in them, a lot of hurt, wherever it's coming from, that led to something that the Holy Spirit does not want to be around. That's why you feel that way. So many people have been waking up, and you talk to somebody and you're friends with them, but then you leave drained. So that's why I'm instituting this as far as what's going on with the world. A lot of people are going to be like that. You have to remember to take time for yourself, and you have to remember you cannot pour from an empty cup. That's why I always say rest. Now when you're light and you're speaking to each other, where two or more are gathered, I'm in their midst, you're going to feel strengthened with more hope, more peace. That's why I highly recommend the Elijah list. They're a collection of prophets, because I stated I wanted my church to answer to me. And I wanted my prophets to be able to confirm what I'm doing. So it's been difficult for me to walk all these paths when everybody's on their own little journey. And it's important to remember some spirits are older than other spirits, so their understanding is going to be quicker than somebody else's. But you shouldn't feel alienated. You shouldn't feel weird. You should feel chosen. All right. I love you.